Gene key 12, that shadow of vanity. Like the 26th shadow of pride, it's like one of the last ones to leave us. We can get so stabilized in our gifts and still be haunted by pride and vanity because they're so insidious and they can take so many forms. I'm Molly, you're watching Mirror Readings, and we're talking about gene key number 12 today. That's the shadow of vanity, the gift of discrimination, and the city of purity. Now, this shadow of vanity, as I said, it's so insidious, it can take so many forms. It's not just an obsession with our own uniqueness, which it absolutely is that, but it can also be an obsession with how our uniqueness looks next to someone else's uniqueness. Vanity can cause us to team up with people or get ourselves into situations that are no good for us. No matter what form of expression vanity takes in our lives, it has the same fear, which is that if we come from our heart, if we have an open heart, if we take a heart-based approach to life, that we're going to lose power. Vanity is very concerned with power. This 12th shadow goes so far as to say that those of us who are interested in spiritual material like the gene keys are definitely dealing with this shadow of vanity in some form or another, even if we don't have it in our profile, because we would have to be somewhat obsessed with our own uniqueness in order to pursue such a path as studying the gene keys. I mean, woof, stop yelling at me, Richard Rudd. He explains that once we start doing the spiritual work and really dedicating our lives to our own transformation, we start seeing ourselves as different and sometimes, risky business, better than other people who aren't doing the work. And thus that shadow of vanity is going to pop up one way or another. In a repressed state, vanity will make us elitist. It will make us low-key or high-key snobs, but it's all about who we associate with and what we put our attention on. Does it make us feel like we are more unique than others? And in a reactive state, it makes us malicious. People who are experiencing reactive vanity know how to push other people's emotional buttons better than anyone, and they push the fuck out of them. Because this shadow is so insidious, it's recommended that we not worry about it too much, but something to watch out for is defensiveness. When we find ourselves getting defensive about something that doesn't really make any sense, or just carrying tension in our body around some kind of trigger that shouldn't be inherently stressful, those can be indicators that vanity is afoot. Now let's get over to that gift of discrimination. Discrimination invites us to feel our feelings and to express them, which in vanity can be very difficult because maybe we don't want to show our feelings if we perceive them as being messy, unattractive, uncool, whatever. Feeling our feelings does not mean getting hijacked by our emotional state, right? So that our nervous system is completely unregulated. What it means is feeling our feelings enough to be able to spotlight inauthenticity. Discrimination is discriminating between what is authentic and what is coming from that place of vanity. Gene key 12 is known as a stop-codon. There's start and stop codons in the human genetic sequence. If you want the sciencey definition, you're going to have to look that up yourself. But in the gene keys, a stop codon is what stops us from identifying with any versions of our past self. Every idea that we had about ourselves drops, and we just make room for pure transformation. We become a perfectly tuned instrument for the creator to play. Once we completely disidentify with these past shadow-dominated versions of ourselves, holy shit, everything is possible. And Gene Key says this is not something that can be forced or even desired. We kind of have to approach it as part of a natural cycle and not something to grasp for. But uncontrollable laughter and tears of joy can be a symptom of this disidentification process being underway. Accessing this 12th city of purity is what happens when we fall in love with our highest self. Vanity is a product of falling in love with our lower self. But they say in the Gene Keys that this is what happens when the Creator falls in love with us. The Creator was always in love with us. We contain a spark of the Creator within us. The issue is that we have to meet each other halfway and fall in love somewhere between our piddly existence in human form and our divine self that's connected to the one Creator. Those who reach this city of purity have that love of the Creator powering their every thought, word, and deed. They're completely detached from their identity with their past selves, and they're totally present for whatever that pure divine intelligence wants to do with us, our vessel. We become Barbie and Ken for the divine. To be in purity is to be beyond human desire, beyond duality. It's that pure state of non-attachment and that transition from me to we that so many of the cities in the Gene Keys talk about. Watch out for vanity, y'all. It's going to follow us into these higher gift frequencies. I can't wait to be a totally evolved version of myself that's disidentified with all of the past shadow-dominated versions of myself. What a trip. Thanks for watching Mirror Readings. I'm Molly, and if you'd like to get a Gene Key reading from me, please visit me at mirrorreadings.com. Email me if you have any questions or want to set up a time to chat, mirrorreadings@gmail.com, and all subscribers to the channel get 15% off. Till next time.